Hi, I'm Warren Cox. Welcome to Shine Brighter Leadership. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about effective ways and just little tips that help me get customers' utility bill efficiently when I'm on doors. Getting the bill is one of the most important things we do. When you're new, or if you're new, when I was new, I felt like my hardest two things to do on doors were, asking that credit question effectively or feeling a little bit nervous to ask that. I always thought it was a little bit intrusive. That was a hurdle for me to get over mentally. Another one was getting the bill on the doors on that first door knock, right? Getting the bill is very vital. It's going to affect, everything you do from that point on. But getting the bill effectively, is one of the most crucial things that we do. A lot of times in this industry, the things that seem tough to us only seem tough because it's our mentality. It's only a big deal if you make it a big deal, right? Pretty much no matter which market you're in, unless things are done differently electronically, but almost every market I've ever worked in or trained people in or coached people in, you have to have the bill for interconnection. It's not really an option. You have to have the bill to make sure it's accurate for the homeowner as well. Make sure you're doing the homeowner a proper service and you're not doing them a disservice because you didn't know that usage correctly or the rates correctly or how it worked. It's a necessity for homeowners to go solar. So it's best, in my opinion, to always get it up front, get it ahead of time before you go back into the home so you can be prepared properly and set proper expectations with the homeowner, that stuff is needed for interconnection and to do our job properly on our end as well. Getting the bill ahead of time allows you or your senior consultant, however you're doing business, to make sure that you can do designs ahead of time. You can play with different financing. You can play with, different designs based on shading, based on their rates or what their usage is monthly, right? It really sets up properly for the future, for that in-home. You can go in well prepared. It also helps mentally. You feel better. You have all of your tools ready to go, and if you can play with different designs, different finance options, ask the right questions, and then make sure that you put the homeowner in the right product as well if you're properly prepared. So make sure you have the bill ahead of time. It'll really set yourself up properly, whether it's you or for your mentor or closer in the home. Closed mouths don't get fed, but it's also how you ask for things. One tip that really helped me on doors to ask for the number or the email or the bill. When I ask for the number, I look down and say, I lean on my digital card a lot. I say, what's the best number to send that to? I'll let them kind of see my phone. So it just adds a little more credibility. It almost puts me beside them. But it's also, I'm not making eye contact, right? And if I need to hold that, sometimes I will if I look down. But I know sometimes that the minute I look up, and make eye contact, it might give them a way to have an out, right? So if I'm looking down, I like to wear hats on doors. It'll keep my head down right. I think this works very, very well, whether you're getting the phone number, the email, or a lot of times the bill. When you go in to grab it or take a picture, get beside them. You can lean over, kind of look down. I think it makes it much more effective that way. Doesn't give people that out to be able to take, right? So keep your head down. Use that lid cap if you need to. Don't do it in a shady way, right? Do it in a really nice, friendly way. Side with your customer almost. Don't do it shady. Make sure you practice in the mirror, practice with people so you don't look shady. But keep your head down. Use that effectively. When you move in, head down, right? Lid down. Hold it if you need to. I've made it weird sometimes and held it for 20, 30 seconds, but I've still gotten the number, right? And sometimes if you get that pushback, you're pitching the wrong people anyways. If you didn't do a great job of building trust, this will kind of open it up and it'll show where that trust value is there as well. But make sure you keep the head down. Helps for me. Try it out. See if it works for you. When you're moving in for the bill, grab the bill confidently, right? Make sure that you're grabbing the bill confidently. A lot of times people will do that. You don't want to just yank it out of their hand, right? But make sure when you're walking back up or when they're walking up with their bill, whether it's on their phone or preferably on paper is great. But make sure they're going to screenshot that bill. If they share links If they do it online, a lot of the times the links won't let you pull it up without a password. You don't want to be asking customers for their password. So make sure that they're screenshotting it. AirDrop works great if you're an Apple user, but make sure they're texting that or AirDropping a full page so you have it. If you have paper, make sure you grab that bill confidently, right? If it's paper billing, take a full photo corner to corner, no matter who you work for, no matter where you work. They usually need a corner-to-corner, non-blurry photo. Make sure you do a good job. Be proactive about that. If it's blurry, take another photo, but be confident when you ask for the bill. You've already asked for it. They've already brought it over. There's nothing you can do with the bill, maybe besides try to pay it for them, right? But there's no information that you probably don't already have or that's not public knowledge, right? Outside of maybe an account number or a meter number, right? So do it confidently. They've already gone to get that bill for you. That probably means they're pretty interested. Their interest levels are high. So do it confidently. You've done an amazing job. And now make sure that you do your job the right way. Corner to corner, no blurriness. If there's multiple pages with rates or their usage, make sure you get every single page. Be proactive about it. The more, the better always. Show them the value to them. It's almost that give and take technique that we've gone over before, but show them the value to them. This is one I use if I ever get a little bit of hesitation on the doors. This helps for me a lot. I just say, I kind of show them how much time it's going to save them and pretty open about it, right? So Mr. and Mrs. Customer, it'd be really great if I had that bill ahead of time. When I come back or when my senior consultant comes back, it's going to make it a lot more seamless for you. We can do a design ahead of time so we can kind of compare it and we can see exactly what you're using now and what you're paying for that energy. And then we can design ahead of time, so when we come back, we can kind of show you apples to apples, but we can make sure that we cater that solar system for your home's needs, right? And it does knock off about 15 or 30 minutes out of that appointment. So we can really make sure that we have enough time for all your questions and make sure that, it's really nice and seamless for you all as well and time efficient. Is that cool with you? Okay, excellent. Grab that bill for me. That works really well for me. I think when you say and you let the homeowner know in kind of an open way how valuable it is, in an incredible way, that it's going to really allow you to see what they're using and what they're paying for that, so you can design properly for their home. And it also takes you a little bit of time. I think it helps get that buy-in from them a little bit. I think it helps make that appointment a little more solid, especially if they do end up going and getting that bill for you. They know that you've done a little bit of work on your end ahead of time before you come back. So I think it locks them in to that appointment a little bit. I think it also lets them know that you're out to save them time as well. You're not in it to just sit there and try to sell them solar all day long, that you're really in it to make sure that it's time efficient for them and that you can make it make sense any way, shape, or form. And that's included by, the most vital thing, and that's getting their bill ahead of time so you can make sure that you're presenting the proper products in the proper way to the homeowner. Stand beside them when getting the bill. It almost makes you feel like you're together in something. You almost create that enemy with the utility as well. And you can start to utilize as you grow and you get more experience. Really be aware of your utilities. Know your utility. Know their rate increases. If you have your bill, especially if it's on paper, you're siding with them, looking at it. You can a lot of times in most markets, there's different tiers or different time of usage things. So you can go into those and kind of weigh in on those and really hit those pain points for the homeowner, right? So start to get into those tiers, get beside them, really solidify that appointment a little bit with their tier increases or their usage or what they're paying or their rates, right? Their rate increases. So start to really harness in on your skills, know your utilities properly. And when you get that bill, start to solidify that appointment by really hitting those pain points for the rate increases or whatever it is that's going on in your utility. Know your utility. Know what you're doing. Know your job. Motion creates emotion. In my door pitch, I transition to the meter a lot for several reasons. And a lot of the markets I've worked in, I think it's very valuable to see if there's an MPU needed or anything like that ahead of time. A lot of times in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, there were main panels or breakers on the outside of the homes. So it would give me a heads up on whether or not I would have to add in, an electrical quote, a main panel upgrade, and electrical service change, things like that ahead of time. But also, it was a huge value for me because it took that awkwardness sometimes out of standing on the door or kind of where to transition when I was new, when I asked for the bill. So when I got a little more experience and I really started to see the value in motion creates emotion, I would, ask in more of a direct way. Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, go grab that bill for me. That graph on there is what I sent to the engineer, what I design off of, and see what you're using, kind of the rate you're paying. I'm going to go check that meter, right? And meet me back here with your bill, or meet me in the garage near your breaker panel, right? Whatever you need to do. But for me, that really helped create a little bit of having the homeowner kind of go on their task and then me going on my task, and took a lot of that awkwardness out of me just standing at the door and working up more nerves and transitioning to the appointment when they came back. So motion creates emotion. There's a lot of different ways you can work that into it. If you're doing same day sits, things like that, a lot of times it's great to transition into the home that way. If you have a place to sit, let's snag a place to sit. I have some things I have to jot down for you. I have a presentation I have to show you, or I have to work up this design. Go grab that bill. Where's the best place to sit? So try to work in, how you can transition, how you can get a little more emotion into grabbing that bill, whether you're doing same days or setting appointments for your comeback for yourself or for someone else. Having the bill is one of the most vital things we do. It affects everything from the door knock to the appointment to the design to the sale to the in-home appointment, right? To interconnection, for install, for PTO, for our pay, for making sure that the customers are set up properly for their success. It affects everything we do. Shoot your shot. If you have their interest and you've made it far enough to set an appointment, make sure you shoot your shot at getting that bill as well. Vital to what we do. It's going to set yourself up for success for the entire process, right? Go for it. Take your shot. You make a lot more than what you think you would.